Okay, hey everyone. To all the guitar players out there, which I think should be everyone, everyone should have the experience of using this extension of you in an artistic, physiologically balancing way. As well as, and that's made possible by the fusion of conceptions with contractions with breath to create the unique variations on sound frequencies and sound pressure changes, air pressure changes that are perceived as sound, which is a part of greater self-actualization. You're not just physiologically balancing by accessing the linearity of the guitar, but you're accessing its curving conformative shape that corresponds to the curves of your body. Does that make sense? There is a parallel relationship. There is an analogous relationship. And that's why the mimicry of universal shapes, cosmic patterns, whether we derive them from mathematics or geometry. Think of universal rotations. Think about the water in the toilet. We use these natural relationships that are governed by these laws of physics, the laws of thermodynamics, the laws of gravity. So here's the exercise. So much of training for a new fingering or a new chord, right, requires this level, lumbar level contractions. So after having trained for some new chord down here, bring one hand up or bring both hands up and replicate the contraction in a mimicking way. In just these 1 inch, half inch, quarter inch, millimeter, nanometer scales. Starting small and getting bigger, starting big and getting small. Either way, there's going to be some variation. I prefer the starting small and getting bigger. Why? Because I neglected the core. I neglected this internal power of breath to create the internal pressure to expand all of this area. Now, I expanded it in a different way, but it wasn't a synergistic way. It wasn't a balanced, healthy way. Play the same sequence with different fingers. See? Once you recognize that it's just like shaking someone's hand, you're just squeezing the guitar and you're synchronizing those squeezes and those shapes with certain patterns of shapes that you're making with your other hand. So it's very much like a Pentecostal church, in that the performance of these activities is what's empowering. If you don't do these activities for a small amount of time, once a week, every other day, for 3 minutes every day, for 3 hours a day, there's a point at which it crosses over from being a hobby to an obsession, from being working out, and those are musicians. So it's almost as if the key to life is finding these things that the world values that enable us to become obsessed. Almost obsessed, depending on how you define obsessed. If it becomes self-destructive, we need certain self-destructive people. We do. We need some existential knots, some world knots. We need some chemical knots. We need some psychonauts. We need some pulmonauts, which are those who experiment with breath, which is the most essential thing in our world. In the human life, there's nothing more essential than air. And postures and shapes and movements are all ways in which we can alter the ways in which we get air inside of us. And thus we get the air and the nutrients to all of our cells. And this is why healthy looking people are more successful, because there's less risk. It looks as if their cells know how to work together, such that they put off this healthy image. They're robust. They have a shape that's connotative of health and vitality. They're not overweight, which means they have a healthy digestive system. They have a healthy metabolism. They have good skin. Thus, they haven't been exposed to excessive amounts of solar radiation. You push down, and then you push up a little bit. Bring it to this side. Now, what are you looking at? Here, I'm looking at the ground. I'm kind of rolling onto my side here. Sometimes you want to focus on that push. Sometimes you need to flex down. Do you see how the guitar can become this? It in and of itself is balanced. It has a center on which you can balance it. And thus you can move that center around your body. And in so doing, you can center your body by balancing this. It awakens all of the muscles that one needs for true core strength, for true complete breathing. But I don't just pledge allegiance to that flag. I pledge allegiance to everyone who's here. I am saying that this is my purpose. You are my purpose, and I'm my purpose too. Slight push. That's a slight push out. That's the uThrones maneuver. There's a 3-fingered and a 4-fingered. Mm. Close it a little bit, then open it a little bit. Let a little bit of air come out of your mouth. Take in a few percent of air through your mouth. Let that air fill that space. Puff your cheeks out. Change the air pressure within. And that changes the muscular response that's on the surface. Your rivers of blood, your rivers of fluid, rivers of water, rivers of, these clouds of oxygen that are riding within these rivers of blood. Everyone can benefit from this. Everyone can actualize these principles in some way. And we have to recognize that some part of us has to elevate. For example, if you've been on the ground and you've been typing on a phone, tying your shoes, whatever, even if it's just for 2 seconds, that requires a gravitationally balancing realignment that counters gravity, that counters that time of depression, oppression, expression, uppression, vertical pression. Touch your neck. Let this activate all of these unique resistance muscles, the resistance muscles in your face, in your cheeks, in your throat, the muscles that make you as long. Don't worry about being tall. Be as long as you can be. And then be as comfortably short. Compress everything. And then give it more space to expand. And then just slowly be, even though you're not trying to go to sleep. Oh, 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 oh,